It was great on Good Morning Football in the first hour, the 5 a.m. California hour. We talked 49ers, so I'm sure the Niners fans all saw that. So let's take it to the other side and the Jets. Peter, we bounce it right back out to New York and the fact that Rodgers tempered expectations perhaps after watching that first game being a part of the offense, even though they only possessed the ball for like 20 minutes or so Monday night.
Yeah, the Jets had that one great drive, and then they put Tyrod Taylor in at the end, and they had another drive. So the 19 points is a misnomer. It was all Niners, and it was all Niners anytime they wanted it.
Correct.
Purdy looked like Montana last night. Jordan Mason looked like Roger Craig and Frank Gore combined. And what's interesting about it is that, all summer there's been this feeling of like, oh, we don't have to play our starters in preseason. Like, just trust us. Like, Jets, just trust us. We got it. In the offseason, they let Bryce Huff be on another team, John Franklin Myers, Quentin Jefferson, Al Woods. They didn't really have much urgency to get Hassan Reddick done. And what I watched last night was a team that just got bullied, absolutely manhandled. And Mike Robinson's in the studio. He knows Robert Saleh. Robert Saleh is a defensive coach. And you guys know Jeff Ulbrich. He's a defensive coach. There's a lot of pride in that room, a lot of alpha pride, a lot of manhood, a lot of, hey, we might not be the best team, but we're going to be the toughest team. They weren't last night. Look, the Niners, they had their way with the Jets. And we're showing Rodgers, I think the offensive second, like you said, Jamie, they barely got on the field. It wasn't even like they had a chance. Every third down, it felt like Purdy had someone open and found him. And every second and short, it seemed like Jordan Mason just moved the chains. I woke up to a text from my friend Sam, who's a season ticket holder of the Jets. He's like, I didn't sleep. I feel nauseous. It's not that we lost. It's the way we lost. Now, Rodgers is right. The scheduling gods did them no favors at the league office. You give them a Monday night game in San Francisco, that's tough. Quick turnaround in Tennessee on the road, that's tough. And then a quick turnaround Thursday night game against the Patriots. 3 games in 10 days. It's not great. But I don't care how rested, how not rested, how whatever you can't get bullied. You can't be bullied because that's supposed to be the identity of the Jets. The Jets are supposed to be led by a defensive head coach. And even if the offense is unspeakably bad, at least they'll be in these games because of the defense. The defense was nowhere to be seen in big moments. And I would say they had themselves pushed around by a Niners team, and that's what would be most concerning if you're a Jets fan. The identity is supposed to be toughness. If that's not there, well, then I don't know how you're going to hang your hat on anything last night.
That's a strong take. I want to hear from my guy, Mike Robb. Mike, get in here. What do you got? What do you think?
Oh, man, look, strong take, Peter, and I love it. You mentioned Jeff Ulbrich, the defensive coordinator for the New York Jets. He was actually a former teammate of mine. Actually, whenever things, whenever we had bad practices at the Niners, I remember this one practice where, we got, from a team standpoint, we didn't attack the practice. And I remember Jeff starting to fight with me. And I got a feeling Jeff's going to walk in that defensive meeting room today and start a fight, not physically, but a fight and challenging those guys defensively for the New York Jets. Because I agree with you, Peter. I do think the Jets got bullied. I do think they got pushed around. Now, we have to temper what we saw because this is week 1. And, Peter, like you said, guys don't play in the preseason. So, essentially, this is still the preseason for guys like Aaron Rodgers and some of the older guys on that New York Jets squad. But this is an older team. I feel like that the Niners have a little bit more continuity in their offense and in their defense and then just in their team in general. So they were able to go out there and put a butt whipping on Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets. I'm not so sure if Aaron Rodgers is not still thinking about his foot. Just the way I saw some of the releases, some of his movements, some of how he was trying to get rid of the ball just so that he wouldn't get hit, which, again, I know he's a little older. You don't want him to get hit and things like that. But I think that game was full of Aaron Rodgers still feeling his foot out, feeling his capabilities out, seeing what he can do within this offense. And they got to get it together fast because it don't get much easier. They still got to go out there and play, and there's a lot of expectations. And the way that this team is built, the way that they kind of have went all in for these last couple of years of Aaron Rodgers, man, a lot of jobs are on the line this season.
I'm so with you because I saw the same thing when it comes to Aaron Rodgers. Like, I thought his arm strength looks great.
Yeah.
I thought he can make all the throws that you expect a quarterback of his caliber to make. But the one thing I saw him was, as he was running, he was like running on top of himself rather than trying to run out as he was moving around. It seems like he still has a little bit of self-preservation. Like, I have to preserve myself. An injury like that can mess with anybody. I don't care how high of a caliber of an athlete you are, it will get in your mind mentally. So you wonder how much of that is him trying to move around and not try to hurt himself again, because it was devastating for him. Yeah. But this defense on the other side, I mean, I thought Aaron Rodgers comes to the Jets. Big number 95 anchoring it in the trenches, you know, with Quentin Williams. But like Peter was saying, there was no sense of urgency. There's no sense of authority in the defense. There's no sense of pride. I mean, for a team to go down like the 49ers, except for that first series, that first drive, but to go every drive after that and to score either a field goal or a touchdown, like at some point you got to like, heck no. You can't just like, you ain't scoring on this drive. I mean, I just wanted some sort of disruption. At one point going, you know what? They're not going to score on this drive. Nope. They would march their way down there, kick a field goal. March their way down there, and then score a touchdown.
Now, Kyle knows this defense.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Kyle knows this defense.
That's
he
right.
understands kind of the Robert Saleh and Jeff Albrecht structure and what they're trying to do.
They were together before.
They were together before, so he understands it. But to me, it's the one-on-one blocks. It's the pushing guys 2-3 yards down the football field. Sometimes some of these holes, I mean, the Niner backs wouldn't get touched till 5-6 yards down the football field. To me, that is what is
And the scheming, too. You saw there are certain times just the way they were scheming up that defense on the offensive line. I'm looking at big Trent Williams. I mean, just manhandling other pro dudes like that. Like, that's just not supposed to happen that way.
He's the best offensive lineman in the damn league.
Right?
Oh, my goodness. Don't give him no camp. He don't need no camp.
I think the frustrating thing for all of us who've been talking so much Rodgers the last 2 years is that the letter grade isn't A, B, C, D, or F. It's I for incomplete. I don't feel like we really got to see what he's capable of. Not only was he not on the field a lot, he wasn't pressured very much. He barely had to do any scrambling at all. There was no runs, nothing like that. So I don't really know what he has. He threw some bullets, and that's great. I still feel like we're going to find out more next week. But I think it's important to say this. I don't want us to be, and I mean all of us, I do not want us to be the overreaction show of note. I really feel strongly about this. And I do think, and I've said it for years, week one is very misleading. Look no further than Aaron Rodgers. He's gotten shellacked a few times week one. I remember him losing by 5 touchdowns to a Jameis Winston Saints team, and he ended up winning 13 games. It happens. I think it's a very, very tough draw. And I know there's a whole industry of people this morning who are going to scream about the Jets are terrible, the same old Jets, the Jets suck, and the Giants suck. And that's fine. If you want to do that, there's a living to be made. I don't want us to do that because anybody screaming that this morning, do you really not think they're going to beat the Titans next week? Do you not think they're going to beat the Patriots in week 3? Okay, so then they're 2-1, and it's fine. And then they play the Broncos, and they're probably 3-1. It's folly just to say that they're screwed. And I think there's a deliciousness to say that, and it's fun, and it's happy, and everybody reacts, and that's fine. We all do it here and there. I just don't want this morning for us to say the Jets are done, the season's over. No, Rodgers showed really good flashes. Do you not believe suddenly in Sauce Gardner and Quentin Williams and his brother Quincy? Like, those guys are all good. They didn't forget how to play football. It's a very tough team and a very tough, weird week one. They'll be back next week. I know it's fun to say the Jets suck, same old Jets. It's just, I don't think it's true. And if you don't say it, okay?
It's a good reminder, Kyle, frankly, because it feels so easy. It's the low-hanging fruit to come out here and say, Jets defense, you're terrible. Rodgers, you're never going to get it back. And the 49ers are great, and they're going to go back to the Super Bowl. It's too easy to do that. At this point, I do feel like Aaron Rodgers is baiting us, though, into saying things like that because it's classic Aaron Rodgers, who's been playing football for 20 years, to just lull us into this. Oh, the Jets are 6-8. Oh, they're 7-11. He's lulling us into by Halloween, him saying, but we'll still make the playoffs, a la he did this in years past where his Packers teams were down and out, and he said, I will stand by this. This team will be in the postseason, and they went on the ridiculous run that they did in the NFC playoffs that year. This is him, I think, and there was a Netflix trailer released of a show last night where, going to go inside the brain of Aaron Rodgers. Do you want to go inside his brain? We're about to watch this unfold this season. So, Kyle, I think it's a healthy reminder to not let this man think that he is showing us his first card, his only card on Monday Night Football. He's got a full deck locked and loaded for this season as the Jets move forward.